Hello, and welcome along to HTML Basics with your host Robert Smith. In this part 5 of making a 2-column layout using Dreamweaver with CSS and HTML, we're going to continue where we left off by adding some text into this content right div over here. Let's have a look where we got to in the last video. In the last video we managed to put an image here and 9 images inside this div. Now there was a bit of a mistake in some of the numbers that we used in the last video. I think it was about 6 pixels out, but if you follow that procedure and use the calculator correctly, everything will work out fine. But that's in the previous video. We put this and we realized there was a couple of issues with how we addressed each of these images, and we solved that. So let's move on. Okay, in this video I need some text to put in here, so I'm going to go back to code view. I'm going to put it in the div called content right, like this. I'm going to just first of all get rid of this placeholder text and press return like that. Very nice indeed. Give myself a bit of space in here to put some text. Now in my local site over here you'll see that I've got a text file like that, and I'm going to select that and copy it, Command C. Now it's always a good idea to have text without any styling. Sometimes Microsoft Word puts in a whole lot of tags and things you don't really want, so it's always best if you get it in from a file like a simple text file or a notebook or a notepad, I think it's called on the PC, same thing. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in here, Apple V, like that. And there's all my text. Let's go and have a look at that in design view and see what's happened. What's happened is just put some text in there like that without any styling, just basic browser default. So let's go back to our code view and start to style it. But before we do that, we need to put some tags that we can actually style. So I'm going to select that first paragraph like that, and I'm going to go down to my little wrap tag thing. I'm going to click on here. Now I could use any of the H tags. There's a bit of a heading this, so H1 to 6. Normally the H1's the biggest and H6 is the smallest. I'm going to make it a H4 tag like that. I could have used any tag number I like because I'm going to redefine it anyway. So I'm going to press return, and now I've got my tags, one at the beginning and one at the end. Very nice. Okay, let's do the same to this first paragraph here. Let's make that a paragraph by going over here, clicking on our word wrap, pressing letter P for paragraph and hitting return twice, and that'll give us book-ended tags. Now I'll go to the next one here, this word wrap again, press P again and return, and here again I'll select this last and P, return. Okay, let's save that. Let's just have a look at it in design view. Okay, not much has happened. We've just got some returns. You'll see here's a paragraph starting here and there's another one starting here, and we've got our separated H4 tag like that. Okay, very nice indeed. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to actually I might change that to a H1. Oh no, H4 will do, it's fine. So as you can see I'm a bit indecisive. You can use whatever you like. It's just that we didn't really add that to our index CSS. We can always do that later. In fact, we might do it right now. This is in one of the first, in fact in the first video we did this. If I just go to my index.css file, go up to the top here and see where I've got A like that, I'm just going to press comma and H4. And that's just added that to the CSS, and I'll save that and go back to my source code. Again, let's remind ourselves that was just simply all about getting rid of the margins and the padding, because most of these tags will bring margin and padding with them, and that's a pain when it comes to laying things out. So we just set them to 0 and everybody's happy. Okay, so I've got this H4 tag like this. It's time to style that. I'm just going to simply put my cursor in there like this, and I'm going to click over here. Now I really don't need all of that. I'm just going to type in H4 and it's a tag. I should have made that a tag. Index CSS, that's correct, and OK. Now in this H4 tag I'm going to make my font Arial. I'm going to make my font size 18 pixels like that. I'm going to make the color 999 like that, which is a nice mid-grey. And in our box, I'm going to put in the margin on the left-hand side, I'm going to put 20 pixels. And our margin on the right, I'm going to put 20 pixels like that. And the margin bottom, I'm going to put 10 pixels like that. So let's apply that and see what happens. Very nice indeed. Actually, I might put a bit of margin on the top too, because it's a bit close up to the top of the div there like that. So I might put 10 in there and apply that. Just move it down just a little bit. Okay, fabulous. Let's have a look at that. Looking very nice indeed. Okay, now we've got some P tags to style. So if I click on here like this, I can just put my cursor in there if I like, and click on plus. And again, it's giving me a compound, which I don't really need in this situation. Sometimes I need it, this time I don't. So P tag like that, and index is good. Okay, let's go in here, and I'm going to make the font Arial again. I'm going to make the font size 14 pixels this time. I'm going to make the color the same color, the 999 number. The line height, I'm going to make 20. Think of line height as line spacing, if you like. Open it up a little bit like that, 20 pixels. And I'm going to go to my box like this. And in my margins, well, I'll need 20 on the left and 20 on the right. And I won't need any on the top. Let's just apply that and see what happens. Very nice indeed. Click OK. Let's have a look at it. Looking quite nice. Okay, but I don't like the way these paragraphs start block right up against the left-hand side. So I'm going to fix that by going back into my P style here, this one here. Double click on it like this. And this is a bit fancy, this one. I'm going to go to my, where is it, block? Yeah, the block category and the text indent here. I'm going to type in 30 pixels. And that will indent the first line by 30 pixels of each paragraph, like that. Which gives us a nice structure to our type. And OK. And I'm going to save that. Let's have a look at it. Let's preview that in Google Chrome. Very nice indeed. Okay, that page is looking good. We like that text over there, like that. Okay, now let's add just a little bit of text to the footer down here, like this. Again, it's the same thing, so I'll go to Code View, and I'll get rid of my footer placeholder text, press Return like that, and in here, I'm going to make this an H5 tag, like this. I'm going to open up and type in H5 like that, close it. And I'm just going to say these images were sourced on the internet and I used for practice layout techniques and have no commercial use, like that. And then I'm going to close my H5 tag with the shift angle bracket and / like that. Let's have a look what that looks like in design view. There it is down there, looking very nice indeed. Okay, so let's go in and have a bit of a play around with this H5. Okay, before I do that, actually I'm going to change the background color of my footer. So I'm going to go to my footer rule over here by double clicking on footer, and in the background I'm going to make it a nice orange. Maybe that color orange is good. I'm going to apply. Looks much nicer now. Okay, now let's have a go at styling this H5. So I'm just going to go in here and click add like this, and I'm going to make it a tag. H5 is good, index CSS is good. Again, now let's go to my font family. I'm going to make it Arial. That's right, I'm going to make the font size say 12 pixels like that, and the color I'm going to make it white so it stands out like this from the background. I'm going to make the box that's in that text, I'm going to make it or about 230 pixels. Let's apply that. Very nice indeed. See now how those lines have been wrapped, 230 pixels wide. Very nice. Okay, now I need a bit of a left margin to get that away from the margin. To do that, I'm just going to click over here on the left margin. I'm just going to type in, let's say, 20 pixels like that and apply, and it'll just move in. Now, okay, now what I've done, I've used an H5 tag without mentioning it up here in my top thing. So let's go in and fix that. I'm going to go to my index CSS and I'm going to add an H5 here. Now that should adjust what's going on like that, and I'll just save that and go back to my source code. Now you'll notice what's happened. It's taken away that margin, that top margin that H5 tag inherited. So we're going to have to put that back in again. So if I go to my H5 like this, go to my box, in my margin, I'm going to put, say, 20 pixels at the top. Let's apply that. Very nice indeed. Okay, that's exactly what we want. Okay, so that's the end of this video. What have we done? Let's have a look and preview it in Google Chrome. We'll save that and that. And we've added some text over here to the right and a bit more text down here to the bottom, like that. We can actually go in and put a bit more spacing in there. But as you can see, that's how we do it. Put it together like that, a bit of text. And I'll just shut that down like that. In fact, what I might do is I'll try and just a bit more in my H5. I go to my box, margin. Actually, I might put some padding across. Actually, I won't put some margin. I'll take that padding out and put, say, 20 pixels of padding and apply that. And okay, let's preview that in Google Chrome. And let's have a look at it. Much nicer. That's exactly what I want. Okay, I mistook margin for padding, and that's something you will do all the time when developing with CSS and HTML. So if things don't work like you expect them to, just maybe it's a padding or margin issue. Okay, thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll add a horizontal navigation system.